Welcome back. You're watching South Central with me, Jude Sanath. Moving on to a very special story next. In case you didn't know it, every year on the 22nd of August, Chennai celebrates Madras Day. It's an occasion to look back on the history, culture and heritage of a city that has evolved dramatically over the centuries. Now, among the most enduring icons of Madras is the Taj Connemara, the oldest hotel in the city to have remained in continuous service since 1854. For well over 170 years, the Connemara has stood witness to the making of modern Madras, carrying within its walls stories of the colonial era, wartime Madras, changing architecture and the city's evolving culture. On South Central today and on the occasion of Madras Day, I get behind those walls to discover a slice of the hotel's remarkable heritage, from its association with Lord Connemara and its wartime history to the artifacts, traditions and spaces that have survived generations. Take a look. It's Madras Day this weekend, and on South Central today, I want to take you on a heritage walk within one of the city's most iconic landmarks. Now, in case you did not know, the Taj Connemara is Chennai's oldest hotel to be in continuous service. From its beginnings way back in 1854 to turning out to become the hospitality oasis that it is today, the hotel has seen it all. We're talking the British Raj, 2 world wars, Indian independence, and so many world events that these walls have seen. So with that, let's go walking.
Thank you, Jude, for a lovely introduction of the hotel, and absolutely honored to be a part of this show today, talking about a legacy that's been alive for 172 years. Yes, you're right, not many people know about it, but the foundation stone of the hotel was laid in 1799 and marks the hotel 172-year-old today. Of course, this was first introduced as a hospitality in hotel to the industry in 1854. And was called as an imperial hotel. Taj management took over this hotel in 1984.
Right. And it's been 172 years since 1854, which is a very big part of the legacy of the Connemara itself. But you've preserved the legacy in many ways through this beautiful photo wall. In fact, you can see some very nice snippets here. The grand staircase, very much a part of the hotel today. The bar as well, the Lady Connemara bar, in its early avatar, but still very much preserved today. So history as we know it is very much present at this time and place at the Connemara itself.
So Jude, very well put across. Yes, most of it, as you spoke about the grand staircase, you spoke about the Lady Connemara bar, the courtyards, etc. Everything is a living legend today that our guests are experiencing from various parts of the world. The hotel is not something which is an experience of a stay, but it is something that's taking all our guests to a timeless story. Every corridor you walk into, every frame you look at is something depicting a history, as we rightly named right here. I'll be more than happy to take you around and witness these.
And I look forward to that. Before we get ahead, Shilpa, interesting name, the Connemara. Where did it come from? What's the story behind the hotel being named the Taj Connemara?
So since I mentioned this was the Imperial Hotel in 1854, right. The name Connemara came in 1970s after the name of the governor of Madras, Lord Connemara, and his lady was a very, very long staying guest at the hotel for almost about an year. An interesting fact again, which kind of definitely calls the hotel as the Connemara, and since 1984, from the time the Taj took over, Taj Connemara.
Its colonial legacy notwithstanding, the Connemara is also very, very Tamil. Through the hotel, there are glimpses of Chettinad heritage and design scattered in strategic spots. But the big heritage piece is the grand piano. A century old, yes, but one that continues to dish out the tunes every evening. You know, Shilpa, something that really fascinates me about the work you do here at the Connemara is simply the fact that there are pieces of heritage that held pride of place a century or two ago that still find application at the hotel itself. I think a case in point is that grand piano at your lobby. Out of curiosity, does it still work today?
It does. It is not only an exhibit, it has a voice.
And how old is it? Do you still have piano renditions every day?
Just make a guess.
A century, I'm guessing?
It is a century old, has witnessed all the major gatherings at the hotel, and it's still a part of an integral experience for all the guests coming into the Connemara.
So piano renditions every evening, I would assume?
Every evening, 5 p.m., please make time one of the days and come and experience it.
No, I'll be there for sure. But I have to ask you, even as we speak about the colonial identity of this hotel, which, let's face it, is a big part of its identity given all that we just discussed, you've also paid tribute in many ways to the heritage of Madras and Tamil Nadu outside of its colonial past. I think a case in point are the rock carvings right here as an art installation, near the grand staircase as well. Take me through what it's all about and how you've managed to pay tribute to the rock temples of Mahabalipuram, I would assume.
So Jude very rightly said, while the Taj Connemara Hotel in the city of Madras, a city that's known for its food, its music, its culture, and we cannot forget the traditional temples. And this is exactly something which has been brought from the Mahabalipuram carvings and has been preserved for more than 70 years. Having said that, being a heritage hotel, it has undergone a lot of transitions, the remodeling. And 1930s was the period when this was all designed and, something which was which was matched with the city, what it brings it along. 1970s, Jeffrey Bawa was a Sri Lankan architect who came in picture and redesigned and brought in all art deco modernization in the hotel, which is being preserved by the Taj for last 40 years.
And speaking of preservation itself and restoration, design of the hotel is something that is a big part of the story. What's the ethos that we're talking about here? There is, of course, a very colonial element, yes, but when you think about designing the hotel and restoring design and making it a very big part of the identity of the Connemara, especially in the context of Madras and Tamil Nadu, what's that thinking like, Shilpa?
I think I would say, what are we without the history of this hotel? The Taj Group of Hotels and Indian Hotels Company Limited, I think we are an organization that's known for preserving history. I've myself been a part of almost 4 hotels before this assignment, where I worked at the 3 palaces in Rajasthan and Ambassador Hotel. History is something that we preserve, the decor, all the elements. We evolve with what a modern guest today is looking at without erasing the legacy that the city, the hotel brings it along.
Perhaps the Connemara's most defining date with history came back in the 1930s when these corridors, part of the Bachelor Block, then housed British troops who were stationed in India to fight in World War II. It's no wonder then that the block that hosted these soldiers is today come to be known as the Colonial Block. So Shilpa, we've made our way past our heritage walk of the Taj Connemara to arrive at what I'd like to think is perhaps the most historic part of the entire property, and that's the Colonial Block. And I say this because, and again, I don't know how many of our viewers know this, but the spot where we're standing at actually housed British troops during World War II. How incredible is it that the hotel today actually had a spot in one of the most defining events of world history?
Jude, first of all, it's been an absolute pleasure to walk you through the history of the hotel today. Secondly, yes, very rightly said that the block that we are currently standing right now is the Colonial Block of the hotel, which housed the soldiers from the British Army during World War II. Having said that, to explain, the hotel is actually divided into 3 sections, which is a heritage wing, later added the colonial wing and the luxury wing, which are being run as a hotel, 147 rooms, housing the guests from various parts of the world today.
Yeah, just to imagine the fact that you had soldiers staying here. It was called the Bachelor's Block in the past, today known as the Colonial Block itself. The hotel has been through a lot. But I'm just curious, Shilpa, how have you at IHCL actually managed to marry the old with the new in many ways? Because you've seen renovations. The most recent one took place less than 10 years ago. and through it all, you've managed to intermingle both these very, very different parts of history, bringing them all together. How do you manage to do that?
I think very proud to say this. IHCL, as a custodian of maintaining, preserving all the heritage hotels across the country that you see that come live as experiences to our guests. Connemara is another fantastic example of a hotel that was taken over in 1984,
yes,
where this has gone under various remodeling, various changes, but over the years, during all the renovations and refurbishments, the hotel's become modern and absolutely a 5-star world-class luxury hotel, preserving every single bit of history that is required to live and for people to witness and experience today.
And speaking of preserving history as well, Anglo-Indian food, I believe, is a big part of the menu here.
Very much, and that's what we will get you to experience today at Veranda, our all-day dining restaurant at the hotel.
Now, what's a hotel without its food? The Connemara has worked on redefining its culinary offerings, paying homage to both Anglo-Indian as well as Chennai's favorite Chettinad cuisine. An apt marriage of the colonial with the modern.
You have certainly tried, and yes, this comes out of experience. I guess when we spoke about the entire piece of history about the hotel, we cannot really skip Raintree. The restaurant has been the highlight of the city, not only the hotel from 1988, bringing in the cuisines from home. These are all grandmother's recipes. Of course, the kuli paniyaram that you spoke about, the mango fish curry that we do at the hotel, and the spices. The only difference that I would say that we've been able to keep it alive is we have not changed what was brought in from all the families, and the mothers and the grandmothers still kind of bring those flavors at home. This is what you get to experience at Raintree, and that's what makes it so special in the hotel.
I'm already hungry even as we speak. Last question before that you go, Shilpa. Where does the Taj Connemara go from here? I mean, it's been a 172-year-long legacy. We just spoke about how you managed to preserve so much of it, as you paid tribute to these days gone by. Largely colonial, but also marrying elements of the cultural ethos of the state and the city outside of its colonial past. But what lies ahead? I mean, where do you take all this and go from here? What does the future hold with it?
So 40 years with the Taj, the hotel still stands tall as a very, very experiential hotel where I don't think I would want to name it. In fact, I met a guest a few days back who told me every other hotel in the city is a hotel. Connemara is an experience. So we shall continue to live the legacy of an experience that brings the modernization and history alive. And if I may share, the hotel's also going to be becoming a part of a house of brand of the Taj called as the Claridge's very, very soon. Connemara Claridge's collections is something which is way forward for all of us here.
That's a nice little news takeaway for us. But on that note, thank you so very much for doing this. I greatly appreciate it. Here's to history and the Connemara.
Jude, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for such a wonderful time.
Thank you very much. And with that, our heritage walk of the Taj Connemara comes to an end. The hotel, it seems, is all set to feature as part of IHCL's Claridge's boutique luxury line. An apt recognition, one might say, for a hospitality colossus so steeped in history and heritage like no other.